just realized that this actually isn't the perfect size. Lol. Wait, what am I missing on? Oh, just the menu item. Okay, we're good. Okay, so now that we've done that, I think we're far enough in that we can look at some of these rock samples. Okay, so this guy. So we're gonna start out. We're gonna start out with the four samples that I took from the Salton Trough. There's nothing particularly special about this rock here. I don't know how well we're gonna show up on camera. There's something particularly special about it, except for the fact that, well, first of all, it's very smooth, and second of all, there's like there's a greenness across the entire rock, which normally indicates the presence of epidote, which is a pretty common accessory mineral that you find in a lot of rocks like this. So yeah, epidote is usually one of the minerals that gives a rock a green pigment. All right, this here. This is a piece of quartzite. They're not going to show up well on the camera, but you'll notice that it's kind of got trapezoidal faces, sort of. And this one's not really a trapezoid, but like it's made of quartz, which has no cleavage planes, so like it's supposed to be mostly an irregular object. Like it's mostly made of quartz. Well, it's basically entirely quartz, but like it's a metamorphic rock. So like this is what a lot of quartz looks like after you stuck it into the ground for a long time and pressure and temperature have gotten to it. So then we went pretty much straight to the Salton Sea itself, which didn't smell too bad actually. All right, so a couple pieces of obsidian, aka volcanic glass, from the so-called Obsidian Butte next to the Salton Sea. And yeah, basically anytime you see obsidian, you know that it came from a volcanic eruption that took place extremely quickly, because the reason why it's just like all black and sheet like is that it went from magma to exploding onto the surface so fast that there's not a single crystal inside of it. All right, so those are the ones from day one of the trip, and then all the rest of these I picked up today. So here's a couple of pieces of gypsum, which I really like because they're very satisfying to scratch. This is just gypsum; it's a single crystal, and like they're one of the few minerals that are soft enough to be scratched by a human fingernail, which is fantastic because that means that like it's so satisfying when you do it. And I plan on keeping these around next time I play a deliberately frustrating video game, because these are my de-stressing crystals. That was probably pretty bad phrasing, but basically, if I ever get really angry while playing a game, I just scratch it and feel a lot better. I mean, it's a geologist's way of having a stress ball, basically. All right, is this a good one to show off? Next, or yeah, this one's just kind of cool because it has oh, I got more than two of them. This one, oh yeah, you can't really see it that well. Maybe if I like move it, but the darker colored stuff actually, Sonic Adventure 2, the darker colored stuff is supposed to actually kind of glisten. Oh, there we go. If I turn it actually toward the light, how about that? And like basically this whole little slab here is a piece of schist, which contains a bunch of muscovite mica. Actually, it's not schist. I think it's more of a phyllite, because the texture is still relatively if you feel it with your thumb, the texture is still relatively smooth and normal. So like if it gleams but you don't feel it with your thumb, it's probably phyllite, which is like an intermediate metamorphic rock from a piece of shale. It goes to slate, then phyllite, then schist, and then gneiss. And segue time. It's nice. This is nice. You can easily recognize it by the banding on it. Very common metamorphic rock. And the thing is, like when it becomes nice, it kind of loses most of the mica sheen that it had before. Because like at this point, it's been metamorphosed so much that it's almost that like it was nearly turned back into a liquid, but it managed to come back up onto the surface just in time. So we found a lot of this near some of the igneous rocks, and it kind of makes sense that way because it just means that there was a rock that was probably like mixed in with the magma that was already like brewing underneath the surface, and this rock came in and kind of just came up with it as a different type of rock. Let's see. Here's an interesting one. I just kind of like randomly found this one while hiking, and again, I kind of need to crap turn it to the camera or to the light. You see a lot of glistening there. At first, I thought that those little glistening flakes were pyrite, but now that I think about it, it's pretty similar to that rock that I just showed you that had mica. So it might just be mica. I took it to the professor, and like the crystals are too small to actually really tell one way or the other. So, Here's another piece of gypsum. This is the biggest single crystal of gypsum that I have. And the cool thing is, I didn't have to risk my life to get this because like the rest of the kids who are actually physically capable were like going up. I can't even call it a hiking trail because like it's boulder. Like I can't take high steps very well. So like I just noped the heck out of that, and I just happened to find three gypsum crystals completely on the ground, so no danger to my body whatsoever. This gypsum crystal was actually found and given to me by a friend. Well, it's not all the crystal. It's just the bright part here. So that's a gypsum crystal along with like the rest of I guess the rest of the unit that it's attached with. Oh, cool. I can give you 250. Oops. I was only gonna like the number, dude. Holy crap! Like, I think the problem is your name has a number on the end anyway. So, like, after I type in the number, I think I'm done. All right. Anyway. All right. Next up. Oh, this is selenite. I think this might be the selenite that my friend gave me. I mean, I don't know how much she wants me to say her real name, but this was kind of found in the same area as that huge gypsum outcrop, and not far from where we were. There's a giant gypsum mine anyway, so like gypsum's all over the place, and selenite is a pretty similar mineral, except it has selenium, obviously. Right. Probably should have shown this one off earlier because this is just basically a granite. There's nothing really too much special about this. But you can see the albite as the white stuff. The black stuff being, let's see. Is that biotite or is that hornblende? Well, at any rate, it's just a regular old granite. I don't know why I picked this up or showed it off. There's nothing much to say about it, but this is just what natural granite looks like. And a lot of manufacturers will call something a granite or whatever that has absolutely nothing to do with the actual rock. So be on the lookout for that. And Tasmania. Hopefully one of these days I can see what a bunch of other places of the world look like geologically. So this is another pretty gypsum-rich thing that my friend found for me. It's not all gypsum. It's hard to tell with the light. I mean, it all just kind of looks white because the camera kind of is oversaturated. All right, two more. This is the last piece of rock that my friend found for me. I think this one's actually an anhydrite, which is kind of a blanket term for like things that that kind of puddle up on the bottom of a lake bed or something like that, and then after there stops being a supply of water, the crystal just kind of like dries up and forms this kind of a sheet. Actually, it looks really cool in the light. Oh, nice. And then the last rock, which actually isn't much of a grand finale, but it's the largest rock that I have here. But this rock I wanted to pick up because at first I thought that it was anorthosite, which is like a rock made entirely of plagioclase feldspar, but actually the white stuff is albite, which is the sodium part of plagioclase feldspar, but then the other parts are quartz. When I took a look at it with the hand lens, so this is basically a rock made almost entirely of two minerals, albite and quartz, and there's a little bit of mica in there, but it's not really much to write home about. The fact that it's kind of like shaped like this makes sense because this is what a feldspar crystal will look like. All right, so those are my rock samples. A lot more than I ever intended on actually grabbing from there. But yeah, those are all real rocks. Well, you know me as a real rock too. But what I'm about to do to it is unknown.